for the love of Elroy, the God who sees us. The shift you don't notice until you feel it. There's a moment in every spiritual person's journey, not the breakdown, not the awakening, but the soft shift that comes in the middle. The moment you start realizing maybe life isn't only drama, life isn't only the bad things happening to you. Maybe it has something for us too. I had that moment, but I know many of you are having yours quietly, somewhere between a heartbreak and a sleepless night. I know spirituality comes in many forms: heartbreak, grief, loss of a person that you love, a sudden city change, or a nice conversation, a life changing moment, trajectory, things like that. Picture this: you're sitting alone, not lonely, just alone. There's a difference here. A difference you'll discover only when you are cried enough to know the taste of your own healing. The room is dim, the night is slow, and your mind is louder than usual. You're not panicking, you're not breaking down, you're just tired of surviving. That's the moment the shift begins. I experienced it. And I know exactly in your corners of the world, many of you do too. Not a dramatic awakening, not a lightning strike, just a whisper inside you that says, what if life can be different? And suddenly, the universe, which is pretending to mind its own business till now, turns towards you like, finally, you're ready. You didn't notice it at first. I know I didn't too. How would you? You're just trying to breathe without overthinking, but life starts rearranging itself anyway. Those wild little coincidences we experience together, those moments that make you stare at the ceiling like, okay, but how did this happen? You don't want to admit it, but your heart knows. You're being guided, not coddled, not protected for some time. You're being prepared. Somewhere between all these signs, you change a little. There's a little more. Certainly, you are someone you don't recognize, but in the best way, I could say. You start reacting slower, trusting your own voice, choosing yourself without guilt, pulling your energy back, noticing patterns you used to tolerate, letting your old self dissolve gently. Like you start pampering yourself, you start loving yourself. I felt the shift, and I know many of you do too, because this phase has a strange quietness to it. Remember, you will start like love to be alone, you enjoy your own company, a quietness that only people who are healing can understand. Like these quietness heals something inside you. There's a day you wake up and suddenly realize, wait, I'm not choosing chaos anymore. I'm not begging for love anymore. I'm not explaining myself anymore. And that's when it hits you. You're finally living as the version the universe was trying to build all along. And this is where the concept of self love comes. See, when I talk about self love, don't assuming just getting flowers for yourself, eating good food. No, that's a part of self love. Self love comes with accepting yourself, like facing the darkest past of yourself. See, no one comes into this world without doing mistakes. No one has a good past. Everybody has some mistakes that has to be addressed during these sessions of sitting with yourself. So yes, accepting those darker side of yourself, it all comes with it. Self love is not all light, same as spirituality. It also comes with darkness, and you have to accept it. And this is where the process of the dark night of the soul the transmutation, the healing, the energy difference, the frequency varies. These terms like these comes in, and we will cover it in the later episodes. So yes, here self-love helps you a lot to accept you as yourself, and you live your life differently from now on. You started tending to yourself more. And yes, this is where you finally become a full believer. This is the part we never admit openly because we are still ashamed of talking about omens, talking about signs, talking about intuition to other people. I still hesitate to talk about that in open areas. Yes, the fear is real. We all became believers the same way, not by understanding the universe, but by watching how it treated us when we had nothing left. You ask a question silently, life answers it loudly. You get stuck in a pattern, life pushes you out. You cry in frustration, life gives you a clue the next morning. You ask for a sign, and something so specific happens that you go silent for a minute. Whether we say it or not, this is the phase where we all turned believers. Not because we are taught to believe, but because we're witnessing these beautiful things happening to us. It is a personal experience. So, yes, this episode is not about me alone. It's about all of us who went from breaking down alone to breaking open spiritually. This is for everyone who felt confused, crazy, hopeful, guided, scared, awakened, transformed. To all the ones who did everything that you can. This is for the ones who woke up one day and thought, maybe I'm not surviving anymore. Maybe I am the beginning. Next comes this part that nobody warns you about. Because once you reach this phase where you start living as someone who listens to the universe, someone who receives answers, someone who is quietly guided, this is where the journey stops being interesting and starts becoming real. This is the moment you finally whisper to yourself, okay, I am a believer now. Not because it sounds poetic or it makes you feel special, but because there's no other explanation left for the way life rearranges around you. And once you accept this identity, your world shifts again. Yes, not the external world I'm talking about, that still looks the same. Your inner map changes. You rewire your brain, you rewire your nervous system. You're not operating from trauma, you're operating from mindfulness and who you are really. Your reactions change. And that's where spiritual people, especially those who awaken later in life, face one of the biggest invisible crossroads of this entire journey.